So recently, Richie the barber reached out to me via a text message, finally breaking the silence since October of last year with a text message. And it's been a good 4 months since I last heard from Richie the barber. And I'll let you know exactly what he wrote me in that text message in just a moment. I'm actually going to be posting a screenshot of the text message on here. But before delving into that, just allow me to provide you with the backstory leading up to this point. Kindly consider supporting this channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing this video with a friend. And for those interested in supporting on a deeper level, you can join me on Patreon at patreon.com/chriscameraguy. And there is a monthly subscription of $10 per month. And it greatly assists in maintaining the quality of content and quite literally keeping the lights on. Your continued support is truly appreciated. Thank you very much. It all started with a call from Pastor Joey. And for those unfamiliar, I used to be the co-host, producer, and editor of the Richie the Barber Show. And here I am wearing the t-shirt. And together, Richie and I managed to pull in a remarkable 47 million views over the span of about I would say maybe 10 months in last year in 2023. And during those 10 months, we amassed over 190,000 subscribers on YouTube. However, the whole thing came to a sudden halt in October of last year when Richie sent me a text saying that he decided to take a turn and dive into exclusively Christian content. And, you know, despite my best wishes for his new venture, things took a turn, and Richie ended up starting a new podcast where he started throwing around false accusations about me, claiming that I was into witchcraft, accusing me of theft, laziness, and labeling me as an all-around bad person. And none of these allegations held any truth, mind you. And now I'm not one, personally to entertain claims of witchcraft. I am more of a logical thinker. Richie, however, seemed to be maybe playing to his Christian audience, perhaps trying to trick them, or maybe even trying to pull on their heartstrings. And luckily, most people saw through the lies and stopped watching the Richie the Barber Show altogether. And throughout the years, as many of you know, Richie has experimented with various different personas, from being a singer in a punk rock band to transforming himself surgically into a clown, to going vegan, and even trying his hand at being a bodybuilder, before finally settling into his Christian identity, realizing its undeniable potential for earning money and having a following of people who aren't willing to question anything he does because everything is in the name of God. So let's get back to the phone call with Pastor Joey. Joey had noticed a post on Instagram about my mom's birthday. I was, celebrating my mom's birthday, and, he called me and said, "Hey, happy birthday to your mom, Chris." And he also, expressed some sadness about the strained relationship between Richie and myself. And Joey even went on to suggest the possibility of a reunion show between Richie and I. I made sure to clarify to Joey that my issues with Richie are more professional than personal. And at the end of the day, Richie values money over human connection. And even though I don't personally identify as such a person that values money over people, I totally understand that we're all unique individuals and have varying needs and varying wants. So, despite the professional fallout, if you can call it that, and the false accusations, I harbored no ill feelings towards Richie the barber as an individual. And I told Pastor Joey that Richie is welcome to call or text me at any time when he's ready to apologize to me. And, Joey was like, "Okay, cool. Yeah, awesome. I'll relay the message." So Pastor Joey also mentioned to me a couple of months ago that Richie offered Pastor Joey my position as co-host on the Richie the Barber Show, and this is back around April of 2023. And Joey decided to decline the offer since he felt that it wasn't right. And it all makes sense now because back in April of 2023, March 2023, around there, is when Richie and I had our first argument or discussion about me not posting enough clips online and how it was affecting Richie the Barber's brand, apparently, which is terrifying looking back because beside that argument, I mean, we shook hands and said, like, what, everything's cool. Like, I love you, man. You're my bro. And, everything was great. Because from April of 2023 till the show ended in October of 2023, Richie pretended to be my best friend. And all the while, he was planning on ditching me as soon as he got his numbers, where he wanted. I guess he just really wanted me to do all the work for him to build up his channel, which I did. And when Richie met me, he had a stagnant YouTube channel with only 14,000 subscribers. And, after I started, producing and I did social media marketing for our podcast, it grew exponentially. And I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, and this isn't a diagnosis, but, Richie certainly does display behaviors of a sociopath. Because, who pretends to be someone's friend so you can use them for their services? That's just awful. I can't even imagine using or abusing somebody or lying to somebody in that way. But anyhow, a couple of days after that phone call with Joey, I received a text from Richie. And it read, "When's our reunion show?" No apology, no acknowledgement of his lies and wrongdoing toward me, just a straight dive into the potential business. And frankly, I was taken aback, not only by his grammatical error, because he misspelled "our," which is typical of Richie, I guess. Written and verbal communication, has never really been his strong suit. But I've chosen not to respond to Richie's text message, as I feel like it reflects a lack of maturity, certainly self-centeredness, and it's a notable absence of genuine remorse. And if he had approached me with more respect, formality, and an apology, maybe I could have considered engaging in a conversation with him. Regardless, I hope Richie the Barber finds continued success. I've noticed that his YouTube numbers took a huge hit. It's not doing very well, and I genuinely wish him a comeback someday. However, personally, I prefer to keep my distance from his organization, especially considering how much I personally value respect and integrity. And it's all kind of ironic because when people were making fun of Richie on his comment section, making fun of him for being 38 years old and still living with his mother, which some people may have misconstrued. His mother doesn't live with him. He lives with his mother. She pays the bills, which is really concerning. He should be taking care of his mom at this point. But anyway, he would respond to these people making fun of him saying, "Look up my net worth." Which at the time, there was this website that erroneously stated online that Richie's net worth was $500,000. And the website was making that assessment based on the amount of views that we did the year prior on YouTube, which was 47 million views. But most of those views were from YouTube Shorts. So YouTube didn't really pay us out very much, and it certainly was not in the six figures, not even close. I wish it could have been. It could have changed Richie's life and mine, but it was significantly less than you could probably even imagine. But anyhow, now if you look at Richie's net worth, it says $11,000, which is basically destitute poor. And and listen, none of this brings me any joy at all. Like I don't derive any joy from seeing Richie fail, or him turning back to his old dark ways. That doesn't bring me any joy at all. But I truly wish the best for Richie the Barber, and for Pastor Joey, and I'm sure Richie's still cutting hair at that hair salon he works at, and I'm sure he's still making a living outside of YouTube. So thank God for that. And I'm sure this isn't the reunion that Richie expected, and or perhaps you expected. So what are your thoughts on this situation? If you were in my shoes, would you talk or work professionally with Richie the Barber again? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section below. Until next time, make good choices and take care, guys.